To my fellow Ghanaians, as a mother of three, I come today to talk direct to every parent in Ghana for the sake of the nation of Ghana and the youth of Ghana. Today, we may point fingers at the NDC party because they are on power. They are the one in power. And you think they are bringing injustice to Ghanaian social media bloggers. But the reality is that, indeed, John Mahama government is saving your children from future damage. The question I want to address to every parent in Ghana, both fathers and mothers: do we see any politician child on social media insulting other politicians? If the answer is no, so do your children. You cannot allow your children to destroy their own future. What we don't understand today is that social media today become the new norm. Whatever you do in this world, your social media feed will determine where you get in life and where you will not get in life. As we are all aware, all these politicians, both MPP and NDC, none of their families are out there insulting people. But the poor children are always the ones that are willing to destroy their future because politicians are willing to use the poor community to destroy us and divide us, to fight among ourselves while they get ahead of time and don't give a damn about us. The second question I want to ask every parent in Ghana today is that if a politician child is in the best schools in the world while your children are struggling back home, the question I want to ask every parent: if it is not okay for the politician's child to be on a social media insulting the fabric that they are benefiting from against each other, so do your children should not do the same thing either. We have double standard in Ghana. What we don't understand today, because we are not exposed to the level to understand democracy and to guide our children from social media, certain things they are doing today will determine whether they can get a visa to come to school in abroad or they could travel to other countries to move, just like how I moved from Ghana at the age of 20 to come to this country. Today, Ghanaians seem to have double standard. When it comes to democracy, it's not about insult. It's about achievement. If the MPP become opposition today and have a double standard, the NDC have to make it right. On the behalf of the youth of Ghana, where NDC party, which is not even NDC, is the government of Ghana, they are saving your children from their own future, careers, and education. Every child on social media, blogging, insulting, reposting, and doing certain things are going to determine your child's future, and it's going to rob your child out of every future they may have. I didn't come from politics. I do not come from richness. Even if my family made it, by the time I became adult, they didn't have it. Once upon a time, they were standing up. When I became adult, when I moved to a new world, it wasn't my family. Today, the world is so small than we thought. What your child do determine their destiny. I call upon every parent in Ghana to hold your children accountable. Accountability is important in this world. When you go for a visa, your social media, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, where you post is what will determine whether you get a visa. As we are all aware, none of the MPP children are on social media or the NDC doing what we, the poor people, they push us to do. And we think going that way is the way to become fame. Now we endorse children to turn their phones and sit and insult people based on political affiliation so that they can be rewarded. As the question I want to ask, the Ghana I grew up till I was 20 years and I left. The morals they put on me, I don't think I see it in Ghana today. As much that you may despise the NDC government, but in reality, they are saving your children's future. And if the MPP were to be good people who care about the poor children's future, they will join the NDC party to condemn political rhetoric in Ghana. Today, you see people doing so many things, threatening leaders' life. When growing up, you could not even insult the person that was 1 day older than you. But because when it comes to politics, we push other people's children to do our dirty business. When they arrest them and put in jail, then you come out to reward a little girl, a mere poor child, who insult and threaten a sitting president, being arrested. And Bawumia awarded this girl, while we have so many northern daughters sleeping in circle, doing pa so that I can pay their school fees to go to school. He cannot go reward them as sisters to Bawumia, and yet someone insulting is willing to reward that person. To the MPP party, if you think what you guys are condoling, you're hurting the NDC. I knew you guys are the same. Every politician is a politician. At the end of the day, you shake hands and talk to each other, go to each other's parties. The innocent ones that don't know, if you're a politician, doesn't mean that you're fighting with your opponent, your opposition party. All that you do is you disagree of the way you govern, but that doesn't mean that you are enemies. And that is not in the public arenas to the citizens to know that our politicians are no enemy. MPP, NDC are the same people. They don't fight each other. They just agree on the way they want to govern the country. NDC has the different way, MPP have the different way. That's the only disagreement they have. And in doing so, if you guys can see eye to eye, why on earth will you guys arm children to go out there and destroy your opponent, your opposition party, who has nothing to do with the things you guys are accusing them for? Simply because if the MPP could no longer have anything that you can use to criticize the current sitting government, does not mean that you should arm children to go out and do your dirty laundry. When they arrest them, which is not the government, the president arresting them, is the government arresting them. What we don't understand is that politics and democracy, the government is a total different governing body. The president sits on top of the government. The president's duty as a democratic party and democratic country, the government, the president's duty as the head of the government is to wait for parliament to pass laws and bring it when they agree on terms. And then his duty is to sign what parliament make the laws, and the president have to sign to say, yes, I agree with what they are doing. If it's something that will affect the country, then the president will say, no, what you guys sent to me, I do not agree. We need to sit down and rethink and focus and do it well to represent the whole country. Then he signs it. That's what is missing in Africa, a majority of our countries. The president is not the judicial. The president is not the courts. The president is not the police. The president is not the military. What power the president has as a supreme commander of the country, he has the ability, in case of public issues, to order police or soldiers to go bring peace to whatever public distress will be. That's a president's duty. In a judicial court, the president has no ability to change anything a judge may do, or a lawyer, or we're talking about the police. His duty is to watch. He cannot interfere. But what we don't understand in Ghana is that we allow political group to blindfold us, to put every blame on a ruling president that they are the one causing this. Let's not be mistaken that MPP did the same things they're accusing NDC of doing, even worse. But today, as a mother who sits in America, the capital of the universe, talking to every mother and every father, please watch your children. Guide them to do the right things. Today, your children no longer get visas. Why is this so? Because of what they are doing on social media. It's not based on cursing the president only. Going, following things that they are posting. You have no knowledge about geopolitics. You see something about Palestine, you see something about this, you go post it, you like it, you tweet. It goes against you in the foreign countries. If a politician will not allow his or her child to go insult their fellow politicians, and then they are willing to use we the poor people children to do that, it's we the parents, the poor people duty to tell our children, enough is enough. Politicians are the same people. They are no different from each other. So don't allow MPP to hijack the future of Ghana and destroy your children's future while their kids stay abroad, live in the finest apartment, while you sit in the area that you are struggling, and they are using the same colonialism method to divide and rule us while we sit in silence and watch it. You see this girl that was arrested in Kumasi for threatening to calling people to harm the president. They gave her a probation in a system of court. If they say you are on probation, if you commit anything, you go to jail, and you disregard it and do it, thinking that the MPP will come and take you out, you are allowed to be jailed, even in America that are sitting here. What the MPP party is doing is not for the love of the country. It's the love of their pockets, that they are destroying your children's future for their personal gain. It's time for every mother and father to condemn. Watch your children. Tell them to stay away from politics. A citizen duty is to go to the voting station and cast your vote for who you support. A citizen duty as a political affiliation. If you love a political group, you base your criticism on what the current opposition party is doing that you don't like. It's about the achievement, the agenda they say they were going to deliver. If they are not delivering, you have a right to criticize them. But the only thing you have no right to do, to threaten them and insult, that is a crime. Even in America here, that's it. You cannot just get up and call the president's name and be insulting personal and sleep in your house. You'll be in jail. You'll be in jail for some months or years. Today, MPP have no ability to come out with anything this president is doing wrong. And in doing that, because they have no anything to stand on, they are arming young children, the poor community that they were supposed to protect, because they cannot deliver. Now they're going into the same communities, destroying your children's future. If you didn't have money to take care of your child, but if the child was to do well in academics in school, one day they can get a scholarship to study abroad, whereby the politician children have the golden spoon and the silver spoon to take them there with the taxpayers' money, while your children sit in the poor ghettos in Africa. Now you are allowing the same fabric that used to take each of us out once in a while, out of the poor community. We are denying our children the same basic thing that makes some of these politicians to talk today. We are destroying those futures while we, the parents, sit and watch. I don't blame this Aminat or whatever it is, but I blame her parent. Do you think it's what they are doing is promoting your child today, right? It's not. Today, Aminat or whatever could no longer get a visa to go to any country. Mark it down. And I want every child in Ghana, every youth, to pay attention to this video. Today, what you post on your social media will determine whether you were a good citizen from your country to be able to go to another person's country. They go to watch your social media and deny you visas. So my plea today is to the poor parents. Don't let politicians hijack your children and destroy their futures. Did you ever see any politician child? Boomia have children. All of them, MPP, everybody have children, even the NDC. Do you ever see anybody, child, as a politician, insulting or doing anything on social media? The answer is no. I'm telling you, be wise. Use your brain. Politics is not about insult. Politics is about achievement. And what we don't understand, yes, you can criticize the government. What I see is like right now, your electricity is going off the roof. You could talk about those things. What is affecting us? You could talk even the flood that you guys were talking. I never see double standard in the country to the point that I live in the first world, the capital of the universe. If we have natural disaster, the president take helicopter to be able to see the severity of where it's affected. How massive is that place? You walk in, you can never cover it all. You cannot see it. You see a little thing, that's it. But with the helicopter, your eye can see at the end. And every country on this planet, they use helicopters during national disaster. It's only Ghana that we have double standard. I want you guys to go on social media to check on Akufo-Addo video, because he were able to sit in law chambers and learn law on his own. The president does not make laws of your country. The laws are made in parliament and the judicial of your country. We're talking about the Supreme Court, the lower court, the higher court. That's why they have them there. The president have no say on those things. Don't let politicians clog your judgment for you to think that if they arrest someone insulting the president, it's the president that say they should go arrest the person. No, it's not the president. It's the police, the judicial, sitting watching what is going on today. Realize that if we don't curb this political violence, in the future, it's going to go out of hands. It's going to get out of hands that we cannot handle. And they just arrested an NDC person who was insulting Bohomia. And all this insult, who started it? Is the MPP party. Please, on this aspect, the two political bigger group in Ghana need to stand together to condemn this rhetoric for the sake of the future of Ghana. The youth of Ghana today will become the leaders tomorrow. And if you deprive them of also getting exposure because you allow them to be doing your dirty laundry right now for you, tomorrow, the exposure aircraft get like how some of you guys were able to come to abroad to study, including Bohemia or all of those people. You denying the same fabric to this youth of Ghana because you're allowing them to go to social media to expose yourself because of your political group. And tomorrow, they cannot get visas to go even study. And you allow it. This one, to my parents, every Ghanaian, if you have a child, whether you bear a child or not, we need to stand together. Today, when you come to the biggest world who created social media, now they are denying their children of exposure to social media. Today, certain countries will not even allow children to take cell phones into schools. You go to China, the social media we are using was created there. They will never allow their children to watch what we are doing to each other today. Do you know why? They want a good citizens to be good leaders in their country. Today, the downfall of the sub-Saharan African country has always been the colonialism period blueprint we are using in our countries. Become the downfall of all of us. What did the colonial masters came with? Conquer, divide, and rule. Their methods never left Africa. And to be honest, if we're going to look deep into our judicial, everything we use to govern our countries today happen to be colonialism period blueprints. Why are we suffering? Because their method was never to get Africa to unite. And today, we are using the same things they left with us to govern the country. And the division is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. If we really truly agree that our forefathers and mothers were the Egyptian pharaohs, if we agree Mali was a black African, if we agree that Ghana was black African, and then the Songhai was black African, then in Nubia, we had democracy before the Western democracy. They took it from us and polished and bring it back. And now it become a nuisance in our necks that we destroy each other for, without sitting down to question, why is it that we are almost 70 years of independent, and yet the mentality of colonialism still run in every house of government? Why can't we sit and ask these questions? Do you see any political group, the worldwide that we watch, that's what we are doing in Africa? The answer is no. We need to sit and second question everything we are doing to each other. If it is not right, if it doesn't smell right, it's time for the Africans to write their own blueprint based on our forefathers and mother ability to build pyramid. Today, no modern man can build it, because even with our cutting edge technologies, they can never replicate anything our forefathers did. Then what makes us to think what they brought to us can benefit us? It's a question I want every African to reflect on, because this problem we are having in Africa of governing our nations were never to favor us. It was to fail us. The whole thing was written for us to be into each other necks, never to get together, never to agree with each other. We cannot allow it. If we say we are independent countries with independent governing bodies, we are to go back and sit on the table to draw the blueprint of Africa to take us to the 23rd future century. We can never get anywhere if we don't change distance. I'm pleading to the parent of the youth of Ghana. Politics is destroying your children's future. MPP elite, if you truly believe for the sake of Mother Ghana that you have a love for Ghana, save children of Ghana. You're destroying their futures. Save them. I'm just a messenger. What we don't understand is that if the MPP children are not doing their dirty fight, everybody child is sitting in a foreign classroom, taking kickbacks, eating with a silver spoon, where you, the poor people children, are in the ghettos, and then they come there and give your child 1,000 Ghana cedis, buy them credit, and put them on social media to be cursing leaders, while the Western world leaders and their immigrations are watching these people, taking all their faces to match them. Once upon a time, when they get out of the poverty and try to leave the country, it will be denied to them. I'm just a messenger. If we love Ghana and the future of Ghana, let's stand together to save the youth of Ghana. Where we are headed is not a good thing. One thing that we don't want to understand, that the destruction after independence in the continent of Africa is always been colonialism. Colonialism never left Africa. During this Fonsi crisis, chieftaincy dispute, I went into National Archives and I actually used AI and things to find why is it that Europeans governing bodies left continent of Africa on colonialism. And yes, we use the same colonialism materials to validate ourselves. And if you're going to look at it in that aspect, are we actually independent governing bodies, independent nations in the continent of Africa? The answer is no. Because if the African and cannot come out with your own blueprint based on our ancient biblical beliefs and what our community were before the colonialism and slavery, then colonialism never left Africa. Ask me, why did I say that? After coming on your chieftaincy affairs, on the colonial record in England, of this governing of African colonies, they didn't do it to favor us. They did it and know that if the Africans don't figure it out to change it, in 200 years, we'll remain where we are. It was all a plantain. Indirect rule was the most dangerous thing they did to African continent. People don't understand. When I went into your archives of chieftaincy dispute, the same method colonialism used to deny some and validate some is the cause of every fight of chieftaincy dispute in Ghana today. The loopholes in the National House of Chiefs is that they go back to the colonial archives and say if the colonial masters could validate certain things, then today we the kingmakers and the judicials on local affairs can also apply the same method without thinking that if we are to be independent government bodies, we need to come out with our own independent mentality way of governing our sovereign nations. Colonialism never left Africa. It's still there today. And we're paying the price today. Fonzie crisis, one of it was part of British failure in Africa. 3 people lost their life. 3 people died. Till they clean this up, this misery will continue in the continent of Africa, in the sub-Saharan countries. Why did I say that? How can someone who is going to go be a chief in the Upper West region bypass the Upper West region National House of Chiefs and gazette himself in Accra and then take the gazette papers to Ghana, to Upper West region and be crowned as a chief? And because they know the loophole, the whole system was never to favor Africa. Because if you have money, the whole thing was who can bet and pay high. And the Scotch system and their local government and the National House of Chiefs find the loophole and say, the Ghana government say, whoever is able to gazette yourself first, get protection. Regardless whether you are a monarch, regardless whether you are a prince, as long as you're willing to pay the money, they will bypass things and show you how to do it quick to blindfold the rest of the people. Today, that's what is causing all these issues in Ghana. As a descendant of the golden stool, the accounts, and a descendant of the enslavement, I call upon Ghana, if we want to have peace, we need to fix this loophole. To my brother, the president of Ghana, I know you came to fix majority of failures in Ghana. Don't listen to what people are saying. Human nature, no matter what you do, they'll always find something wrong about you to talk about. As long as you stand with God, the president of Ghana, your excellency, my brother John Dramani Mahama, as long as you stand with God to do what you are doing from your heart to benefit the people of the nation, my brother, go ahead. Our National House of Chiefs need overhauling everywhere you look at. The children you guys started arresting, kudos, my brother. You were sent to be the president again because of some of these things. Save the future of Ghana. It doesn't matter. Put it into law that it's against the law for anyone to insult a leader, an elder. You are allowed to criticize, but not with insult words. You can criticize me. The power electricity bill is skyrocket. You can criticize me about road. You can criticize me about medicine. You can criticize me about water. You can criticize me about people building in waterways. That's his duty as the leader of your country, to make sure the country governing is going the right direction. But when you guys come out with propaganda, MPP party, to turn the blind eye and arm poor people children to beat your dirty laundry while your children are sitting in Western world, enjoying dollars and pounds, it's no. Nobody should accept it, including every mother of Ghana and father. Save the children's future. Save their future. So many people have been denying visas. Do you ask yourself why? It's because of your social media. You see somebody blogging, you come to also do the same thing. It's not equal. You see Kevin Taylor, you cannot go challenge him. You see Tony Jonas will be sent back to Africa Tunisians came to America with visa and stay. Those are the ones Trump is getting. Do you see him standing doing glass on Kwa? He's not. He's stuck in a car doing that. They are looking for them. Anyone that came here, that was the rules. If you come to visit and refuse to go, the new law, and lie your way and get paperwork, if you become a citizen, that means you lied to get a citizenship. They say you need to go back to your country and reapply to come in that you come in to stay. And if they give you green card to come, then you can apply for citizenship. Tunisia Jonas came with DJ Swift or whatever, the young girl, the Ghanaian DJ, to visit and never went back. And he's on social media insulting elders and leaders, and people are supporting what he's doing. Today, when you dig a hole for someone to fall in, dig it big. Tomorrow, you join in. I'm just a messenger. Once upon a time, I told you guys, I'm a messenger. I say, MPP party, the rhetoric of these people in politics, turning the blind eye and doing things that didn't fit African standard, will destroy MPP party. I say, at the end of Akufo-Addo term, MPP party will dismantle to fall. If I lie, God is my witness. Today, it's happening. It's still destroying each other. Let's not think those that come out the Western world and fail and hijack politics, don't go sit there and rob the innocent Ghanaian children whose families are not in politics, whose families are not in high office to steal or to do anything, who were based on their achievement of academics to travel to the new world to learn, to study, to get a higher education. The same fabric of politics is destroying the fabric that they benefit to sit at the politics chairs. Today, they are denying the poor people children to also benefit the same thing because they are using them on social media. And the nations that they used to give scholarship for them to come and learn, those children will get a GPA of 4.5 and can no longer visit that country based on what the politicians are doing to your children. If you listen to me, it's going to benefit your children. If you think, because I endorse John Dramani Mahama, I'm talking for NDC, I'm not an NDC spokesperson. I'm talking for the children of Ghana. I stand with someone that will put Mother Ghana first. And that was why I endorse my brother. He's the kind man who believes in equality. And the reason why you think NDC is the one arresting your children. It's not NDC. It's the government. And say bravo to the NDC government for seeing this destruction heading towards the future of Ghanaian youth. For them to say enough is enough. We need to send a message out there. Politics is not about insulting people. Politics is not about threatening to unalive people, to kill people. Politics is based on achievement. Your agenda, when you say you were going to deliver, if you cannot deliver, you hold the person accountable on that. No any personal insult, threatening families. That is not politics. Today, if you allow your children, parents of Ghana, to turn their phones to destroy their future, it becomes you the parent problem, not the Ghana government. As we are all aware, no government give any favor to any child in Ghana. The Ghana government does not have the ability to support the poor community. In America here, they have allowances they give to poor communities. We don't have that in Ghana. We never get to that area. And the ability that the only thing they can help once in a while will be a scholarship based on your social media feed. My brothers and sisters, your children, take their phones away. If you want them to have future, save them. If you think that you are doing something to get somewhere ahead of time, you are dooming your life and your generation to come. If you don't do well, your generation to come will not do well either. The whole African, sub-Saharan Africa, need to rewrite their government books. We cannot continue with colonial masters' books, slavery, colonial masters slash together. As our democracy, the beacon of our constitution, our monarchs, and think that this thing will favor us. No. What was the indirect rule for? What the British did during the indirect rule, they will look at the elite, the most business-oriented person, those that come from a line of rulers, whether they belong or not, they will choose them and put them in the books. Do you know why they did? And they never even validate and do certain things to make sure centuries to come, the ruling class of Africa need to be by bloodline. They never did that. Do you know why they didn't do that? Because they know we were going to be slaves to the day the day ends. Because the African mentality of reasoning to think that, no, my brother is not my enemy. It's what we are basing our democracy on. It's what is making me and my brother to be enemies. We are not seeing that. Let's question this method I'm talking about today. Why is it that we call ourselves independent governing bodies as independent sovereign nations in Africa, and yet every blueprint we still use is a colonial master blueprint? Then what was the purpose of telling them we weren't independent? There's no point. If you allow colonial record without legitimizing the gate, just like what the president said, we need to rotate this gate and officially put the gate, every gate, into the official books to cut down fights in chieftaincy. Ghana will continue what we are doing. Before democracy, before colonialism, we were kingdoms. The European came and take our kingdoms and brought us their tribes. And today, we are there. Turn into like globes, boxes, and turn Africa into punching arena. It's now become boxing arena. Everybody, the fittest, the more you can curse, you'll be rewarded with a car and a flat. Boyamia, my brother, you are a disgrace. Your children have silver spoons in their mouth. You're using your fellow northern daughter to reward for insulting your opposition brother. Do you ever see any Southerner insulting their fellow brother when it comes to politics? The answer is no. The answer is no. We need to rethink. Let's go back and reflect on things. Africans, we are not independent. No. You cannot use independent colonial archives, colonial government archives to govern your country when you say you are a sovereign nation. The thing that pissed me off, yes, the lawyers, wigs and all that were our ancient Egyptians. It didn't come from England. They took it from there, created that it was their own. And today we sit there and wear them blazing heat and sun. You're still a colonial master boy. And you think you are independent. Show me your independence. Show me. And when you see certain people, things that are not right, we condone those. That they arrest Abu Tracker or whatever the person name is. Ghanaians came, turned their social media feed, saying, why would President John Dramani Mahama allow them to arrest scammers in Ghana and take them to those people they scam? My brothers and sisters, they say if you don't like a monkey, but you should not say the monkey went into your cotton farm. Because we cannot speak the truth, we cannot understand what basic concept of international community laws are. We always bias certain simply because we may not belong to a political party that is ruling. We are willing to put lies, feed lies on social media. For those ignorant people who are like you, think that's the truth. It's not. What you don't understand, Ghana government does not make anything on their own. Loans were at the mercy of the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, European banks, and Americans and China's. The United Nations has a rule, and rule what you should follow. Those rules and requirements hold everybody that is in the international United Nations houses, except those people that are not standing with the courts, which is North Korea and then Cuba. Those people, they don't have any treaty with the Interpol or anything. You cannot go there. And even there, the international community can put the pressure if the person does something wrong and run there to bring them back. The Ghana government cut their own money. Do we even have the ability to build our own CT scans, MRIs, even some medicines? We can make them in Ghana. We can make bicycle tires. Everything we have, we buy from the international community. And with that, the international community and rules will abide them and follow them. What you guys didn't know, the NDC government refused to send these people away. The international community put pressure and they say, if we're going to hold each other accountable, the Ghanaian finance minister stole money from Ghana and ran to America and say he's doing treatment. He's still here. If you guys say we should return people that commit international crimes and sit in our country, the man also committed international crime and ran somewhere. You need to exchange them. You guys just talk without knowing. Pressure that was under the government to return these people were no joke. And if they joke, the international governing body will come into your country, overthrow them, and put whoever they want in place. Let's use common sense. Let's use common sense. Till the day your country is able to understand that using colonial record to govern our country, we are at the mercy of the colonial master. Till the day we are able to come together as African brothers and sisters to understand what was left to us can never take us to the future. How can we do to come together and come with what our forefathers and mothers believed in to be our government body? Till the day we come to that reality, my brothers and sisters, we will be at the bush, knocking around, we'll go forward and come back to the middle. Mark it down. I'm just a messenger. Please, for the sake of Mother Ghana and the continent of Africa, let's do the right things and speak the truth. To every parent in Ghana, if you want the best, if you know the best, what's the best interest of your child, watch your child. Warn them on social media. It's destroying their futures. What I want to ask everybody, if you don't see the politicians that have the money, the ability, taking money, stealing money, their children insulting anybody on social media, so do your child too. Be wise. Be careful what we do in this way. Please, let's save the youth of Ghana for the sake of Mother Ghana. Don't be quick to condemn when you don't understand in the international rules. John Mahama have nothing to do with Abu Watraka sending him back to America. It's your judicial, it's your parliament, it's not the president. John does not make the laws of Ghana. He's just the head of the government. All that he does, when they finish the laws, he just have to sign if he favor the country. And if it's not, he refuses. Talk to your parliament. If you wanna know who is in charge, talk to your parliament. Your judicial is held by parliament. If John Mahama have the ability, he will fire all the judicials. He has no the ability. Let's not be biased. Let's not judge without understanding things. Your country is at the mercy of the international community. Interpol is everywhere because some of you never travel. You don't understand how the new world order is. Anytime you travel to international airport, anywhere in the world, the first thing they do is the biometrics. They will put your 4 fingers first, and then the last is the thumb, and then your face recognizing on the database. Why do they do that everywhere? It's Interpol for the international community. It has nothing to do with John Dramani Mahama. It has nothing to do with NDC or MPP. But if MPP is going to sit and lie, that NDC is the one doing that because they want you guys to elect them when they fail for fucking 80 years of your country, took Ghana to the deplorable conditions and today they themselves cannot see eye to eye. Is that the party you wanted to govern your country? The answer is no. What I asked my brother, something is going on the meters we are using in Ghana. It doesn't make any sense. No matter what you are doing, the light bill is going up and up and up, whether you are there using light or not. Those are things that you could talk to the president. People are sitting in offices stealing money, and we blaming the president of everything. Manipulating meters so they can take money, you blaming the president. Ghana Water, the same thing. The same thing. You go to the hospital, the same thing. They are manipulating computers, charging poor people, taking the money into their pocket. But yet, you're blaming the government. For government to do well, as a citizen, what is your duty? It's not about what your government can do for you only. It's about what you can do for your government. The vigilante, you the citizen, become the vigilante groups. Hold people accountable. If you see something that doesn't sit well, talk about it. Expose it. You see, the double standard in Ghana. Flood. You blame the president. When the Ghanaians, the citizens, are the cause of the flood. If it's raining and you put your trash into a gutter that you know it was man-made and can be choked, then what on earth will you turn around to blame a president? If you poop and put your shit into the gutters and know that water you put in the shit in is the one that flow into the rivers that will end up by drinking one day. Today, we are the source of every problem we have in Ghana. We have typhoid, malaria, so many diseases, hepatitis, all this. What is the cause of it? Filthiness and dirtiness. What we are not supposed to do, we are doing it all. Don't forget, if you throw your trash in water during rain, the rainwater become the drinking water. You're going to get waterborne diseases. We are the cause of everything. They are selling land. The government will put things in. This is a wetland, cannot be built. You guys will go take the land owners and say, don't worry, sell it, you can fill it and build. And then you go and say, build it quick. By the time the government come, we build, they won't do anything. And when it rain, it flood the whole place. Then you say the government. My dear brothers and sisters, no. You can't have your cake and eat it at the same time. If you know it's a waterway and build your house, you cannot blame the government. It's so sad. All my life in the Upper West Region capital, I never see flood before. Today, when it rains, people, politicians, fill waterways. All our lives in Ghana, we have an area going towards the upland. It's wetlands. Nobody ever built there. Because of politics, they fill those areas and turn it into gas stations. Now, when it rains, places that were not supposed to have water are now flooded. And you blame president. They build road and the water come and wash it all away. And you forgetting we don't have the money. We borrow money and we have to pay with interest. And the African continent is at the mercy of this European, no matter what we do. The loan terms they give us, none of them take the same loan terms. When they take a loan for 2%, because of the massive amount, we take it for maybe 10 or 20%. It's not fair to the governments. Bodies, they are trying their best. I can never have double standard. Even for the time, I used to say, to be honest, as much we want to blame these leaders, but in reality, majority of the time, their hands are tied, because they're not calling the shot. They may be the leaders sitting there in your countries. The Western world still call the shot. Please, if we love the country, for the love of our countries, for the love of the future of every country, parents, you have a duty to watch your children's future. And if you don't watch their future on social media, they will destroy themselves. For politicians, when the politicians' children are sitting abroad, learning, getting dollars, sending your taxpayers' money, are sponsoring their lifestyle, while your children are the foot soldiers fighting the battles a politician and his child or her child would never fight. So I come today to tell you guys, if you love your children's future, stand up with the NDC today. As much that you guys are saying anything, I'm trying to tell you, they are the people that love your children and love the future of your children and the future of Ghana. What we are doing is wrong. With this one, MPP, NDC need to come together, plus the parent, to save the future of Ghana. Everywhere today, they are blocking children from internet for them not to destroy themselves. Even selling jobs in America, your social media feed will get you your job. Do you know people lost jobs for doing rhetoric like what they are doing in Ghana? They will find their social media feed and the person will be fired at job. People lost their livelihood, even in America here, based on social media. Be careful what you do on social media. I come today because of this. Thank you. And to me, the bottom thing I want to add to this, to the president of Ghana, my brother, I always believe in you. And I believe your coming this time is to set records straight in Ghana. And there's no a place that this thing is dear to my heart. The youth of Ghana on social media, and then the National House of Chiefs. There's no a place that pay dear when it comes to chieftaincy dispute than the North. Let's set it right. Let's record the gate, validate all the gates that they say, the original gates or whatever. Let's validate them and let them rotate. Once upon a time, my father, Widano Suri, in the 1980s, went to the court when we were district under Bolga. From Bolga, they went to Kumasi, from Kumasi, to make it right so that the Wala Kingdom would not go into civil unrest like what they did. My father said, after my death, that I will betray tradition and oracles for myself gain and personal gain. What is a man without integrity? What is a man without your word? If it is indeed the chosen of the oracles and grandparents, then if they chose him, there is a reason why they choose him. In his lifetime, he will not betray the oracles and tradition. Today, this is my father picture as a man in his early 30s, Widano Suri. I speak on behalf of this man. For what the man did for the Wala Kingdom, I call upon every son of Ghana and in the North to stand together with this president, a son of the North and a son of the South, to fix this one issue that plunges every time into civil unrest. There's no a place in Ghana that pay dearly when it comes to chieftaincy. And that's why we are backwards over there than the North. And if we are to do it right, let's validate the gates to stop corruption. And my brother, the president, one thing that I want you to make before you leave office, make sure the National House of Chiefs correct this loophole. If you're going to be a chief in Accra, you cannot go to Kumasi and gazette yourself. If you're going to be a chief in Kumasi, you cannot go to Brian Haffel and gazette yourself. If you're going to come from Brian Haffel to be a chief, you cannot go to Tamale and gazette yourself. You have to gazette yourself where you're going to have the subject for them to be able, if it is anything to challenge, for them to be able to challenge it. If we can change this one loophole, we'll save so many people's lives. We are all the same fabric. I speak not on behalf of Fonsi only. I speak on behalf of the kingdoms and the whole Ghana as nation. The bloodshed when it comes to chieftaincy affairs affect every community in Ghana. So my brother, this is dear to my heart. If you can take this one loophole out of the National House of Chiefs. I came across a police officer saying something. This case was about South somewhere. I think it was about either the Sampa case or something. And the things this police officer was saying, you could hear that the police officer himself know the loophole. If a police officer would say, whoever gazette himself in Ghana become Logel chief, that's a loophole. It's not gazetted. For a century, almost for a century, the British use the same method so that they can favor people to do government indirect ruling of Ghana. That's what they did. Because they wanted people that were smart, intelligent. It doesn't matter to them whether this person was a blood of a monarch or a lineage of a monarch. That's what is causing what we are going through today. And if we are to do it right for people to stop bloodshed, my brother, your second coming, your third coming was to fix this elusive reality that is affecting the North more than anywhere in Ghana. Let's make it right. If you're going to be a chief in the Upper West region, any of the district, you gazette yourself in the Upper West region. You cannot go to Kumasi, you cannot go to Techima, you cannot go to Accra, Bolga, you cannot go to Tamale. You do it where you're going to be the chief, under that region, whatever district you be. Because if you gazette yourself there, someone in the court system can see it. If they have challenging in place, they can challenge you. But you don't have a loophole that someone can just walk anywhere because they have the money and the ability to buy chieftaincy. They can walk anywhere and gazette themselves 400 miles away while the natives are sitting there, have no clue what is going on. And by the time they say, oh, you gazette yourself. And some of these people didn't go to school. They cannot read. They go with the loophole to make them Tom Prentons. They have no idea what's going on. You need to put things in place. No gazetting and no paper was signed without in the courts of the National House of Chiefs. And each chief will have a representative over there. You bring, not even taking people, bring the leaders. Every leader need to sign. And when it comes to civil unrest, you bring the leaders out. You endorse this. Then they will have the issues with their families. If you want to do it right, that's the bottom way to go. Because other than that, this bloodshed in Ghana will never stop. I don't cry for Ponsi only. As a descendant of monarchs, both the southern and the north, I cry for the bloodshed. Peace and unity is my goal. Dialogue is my goal. When we allow people to use money to rob people out of their abilities, it's wrong. I can believe the country I grew up from, that we come from God-fearing people. All my life I was taught, the Lord is with you. Lord of my forefathers is with me, did everything with me, see me, everything I do. And we used to be God-fearing people. Today, the loophole is that we are at the mercy of greed. Those that used to speak the truth, today put tradition in the back burner and put lies in front of the tradition. The people that benefited from tradition today stand against tradition. The only way to save tradition, my brother, you come from tradition. Let's set this one record to save the future of Ghana monarchs. Once upon a time, we were kingdoms, we were not tribes. The tribes were in Europe. They brought it to us for the destruction of the continent, who were first. We're forgetting Africans, black Africans, ruled Europe for 700 years. We are not the first. We did, and they came back to do. We can make it right. They are our descendants. Let's serve our nations. Let's rewrite things to give us peace and unity in our countries, in our various regions, to all the kingdoms. I come from the Ashanti Kingdom. I come from the Northern Kingdoms. So please, who is fit to talk about this? Who is fit? And John Dramani Mahama, to the Southerners who despise him, he is a Southern son and a Northern son. That's what you guys are missing, right? I always used to say, any pure Ashanti will never insult a Northerner. That's one of my lineage. I am Ashanti by blood. I am a Northerner by blood. I'm 50-50. So please, let's save Ghana for the sake of the future of Ghana and the future of the children of Ghana. Let's do it right. That's your destiny. That's why you were chosen. I saw your vision and I spoke about it, that no matter what, you become the president again to set Ghana free. So I plead to you, my brother. I plead to you. You do the right and let the judicial, let the parliament put these things into law to protect Mother Ghana, to protect the poor. Today, we are telling chiefs that if you're no longer wealthy, any wealthy person from anywhere of the world can come into your kingdom and buy your chieftaincy title without questions asked in Ghana. Was it the moral values they taught us? No. My father chose tradition, never took money. And I would uphold my father values till the day I leave this world. This is my father 30 years old, the Widana, who set Wale free. This is the man face when he didn't even have me. I am my father's daughter, and I will speak on behalf of him till the day I leave. He was the leader, the priest, and the custodian of Wa, and the descendants of the monarchs are Wa. They are our descendants. So anything that will benefit us, we need to call it out. We all cannot be silent. Some need to speak. Just like when people were silent and my father wasn't silent, I speak on behalf of my ancestors, both the southern and the northern. I come today because of this. Anyone that loves what I'm doing is to benefit us all. I'm doing it for all of us. If we have peace in Ghana, we all enjoy. If we don't have peace, we all suffer. No matter where you come from, we are all one blood in Ghana. So please help me share this video. Join my page. Follow my page. Let's bring awareness to our communities. Children is not the way to go. Don't let politicians mess up your future. Because they have the ability to give you money to insult their fellow politicians. If it is okay, why are they not sending their children to do it? Why use poor people's children? Is the question I want to ask today. Thank you guys for taking your time to watch me.